Well, hello and welcome, everyone. We are so excited that you're here with us today. I'm Susyn Renee, certified coach and instructor here at Being True to You, and I will be one of your hosts today for our Insight series session on the role of psychedelics in lasting transformation, what every aspiring coach should know. And joining me today is my colleague, Markus Blettinger, an expert in psychedelic integration and transformational coaching, as one of our certified coaches and also one of our instructors here at Being True to You. Hello and welcome. Yes.
Hey, Susan. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here for you today and talk about how psychedelics catalyze healing and their role in lasting transformation and why integration is so important.
Yes, thank you, Markus. And I'm so glad you're here with all of us today. And we would like to know where you're all tuning in from. So feel free to drop it over in the chat. We always love knowing where you all are. But this topic that we're going to be covering today, it is so relevant right now with the growing interest in psychedelics and personal transformation, along with the growth that we're seeing in the psychedelic coaching industry. And we have so much to cover in today's session. So, in this session, it's not only for aspiring coaches, but this session is also for you curious seekers out there who want to more deeply understand the role that psychedelics play in healing. So, today we're going to explore how psychedelics can really act as a catalyst for deep healing and be a powerful tool for transformation. We're also going to be sharing with you today our exclusive transformational spiral roadmap for guiding yourself and your clients through personal evolution. Then we're going to wrap up today's session, taking you through some tools for transformation and integration, along with sharing how coaching can more deeply support the transformational process. So, with all of that ahead to cover, let's go ahead and dive in. And just remember, if you do have questions along the way, we have a Q&A section here in the webinar. So go ahead and drop your questions in along the way. We are going to make time to get all of your questions answered at the end of our Insight series today. And we also have one of our client relations specialists, Renee, joining us here. She's in the chat. So if questions come in there, she'll be helping you out as well. But let's go ahead and dive in. So, Markus, let's start off by setting some foundation with everyone. So, could you please kick us off and share what makes psychedelics so unique as a healing tool?
Yeah, let's kick it off with this. So, I guess one of the most profound aspects of psychedelics as a healing tool is their ability to go below the surface. So, moving below the conscious mind and diving straight into the heart of our human experience. They offer not just relief, but transformation through connection, self discovery, and a fresh perspective on the challenges that we face in our life. So, psychedelics are a catalyst for change. And so, the way that we speak about this is that they open a door for transformation, but somebody has to actually walk through that door and make the change for that transformation to happen. Another way that we speak about it is they show you the top of the mountain, but we are the ones that have to put on the boots, pack the backpack, find the trail, and then walk the trail to find a way to the top of the mountain. So there's several points that I want to cover a little bit here. So that relate to psychedelics and their ability to catalyze some healing. The first one would be they give a window into the true self. So psychedelics offer a pathway to self-discovery by helping individuals access a part of their psyche that's often blocked by everyday defenses. And this aligns really well with the transformational recovery concepts where individuals confront their shadow selves and integrate aspects of their identity to move toward wholeness, basically making the unconscious conscious that we can work with it. The second point is that it's a non-linear healing mechanism. There's no A plus B equals C when it comes to psychedelics. It's very intuitive and heart-centered. We think of it as it's got a spiral nature to it. So unlike conventional therapies that often follow structured steps, psychedelics kind of bypass that surface symptom and directly engage with the root cause of things like trauma, addiction, or emotional pain. The third piece of this is they facilitate connection and expansion. So psychedelics very often dissolve the sense of separation and then foster the connection to not only yourself, but also to others and the universe or the divine, God, or whatever word you choose, but something that's greater than us. And that mirrors the need for connection in recovery and human developmental models. So, where essentially relationships are the central part of healing, we're communal creatures. We need each other for our healing process to take place. Psychedelics also offer a state for or altered states for new perspectives. So, allowing clients to kind of experience a broader range of consciousness, often bringing clarity and novel insights about their life challenges. So, this opens avenues for seeing beyond the habitual thought patterns that we get stuck in and allow us to foster change. They catalyze a spiritual experience or catalyze a spiritual catalyst as well. So many people describe psychedelics as facilitating a spiritual awakening or being a deeply spiritual experience, which then connects them to a higher purpose or the divine, as you want to say. In transformational recovery coaching, this is kind of a critical step in bridging the gap between the true self and the external distractions. And the more that we develop our understanding of who we are, the less likely we're able to cling to the external distractions that try to take our attention from what's important. So, all of that to say that this is an integration process. As we go through this work with psychedelics, there's an integration process. And part of the phrase that we use here, being true to you, is that the use of psychedelics isn't the end, but actually the beginning. So when you come out of your experience and you've had your insights and your revelations and your clarity for the things that you're moving through, now it's time to put those things to work and to bring the experience from psychedelics into your life. And as coaches, we then emphasize the importance of integrating these profound experiences into daily life, which then ensures the long-term growth and recovery. So the work starts once the psychedelic experience ends, which is where we come in.
Thank you for that, Marcus. Like, what a powerful exploration there of all the aspects that really make psychedelics such a unique tool for healing and transformation. What really stands out, with these experiences, like as profound as they are, like what you shared is that they are only the beginning, right? They are not the entire solution. And the true power lies in what we do after, right? How we integrate these experiences into our daily lives and how we support others in integrating them into their lives. Because transformation isn't just about the breakthroughs, it's about the follow through and those day-to-day actions and choices that turn those moments of clarity into lasting change.
Exactly. It's perfect. The role of psychedelics is really to be a tool of a part of the transformation, right? It's like a disruptor of patterns. And then we can create new ones and be brought to awareness of what our patterns are. So if someone's looking for lasting change, they kind of, like we said, need to walk through the door or climb to the top of the mountain that the psychedelics then open. And that's where integration comes in. And without integration, the catalyzing power of psychedelic experiences is not actually actualized. It starts to fade over time. So we need to do the work to bring it with us.
Yeah, thank you for that, Marcus. I think it's really a beautiful foundation that we just laid for what we want to talk about next. And that is the transformational spiral framework and really how it does support these psychedelic experiences and more importantly, the integration process.
Yeah, integration is where the real work begins, like we said. So psychedelics open the door for profound insight and self awareness, but it's how we use this new information that helps us navigate and find other sides that determine the transformational lasting impact, essentially. So integration is about taking those moments of clarity and weaving them into the fabric of our everyday lives, which is then eventually what allows us to upgrade how we think, how we act, and how we relate to the world. So the Transformational Spiral Framework is a tool that's designed to guide the coaches and the clients through the integration process. So it's based on the understanding that transformation isn't linear, it's a spiral. And so we revisit challenges as we go through life and move through our things. And we revisit these challenges and lessons at kind of like deeper levels and more refined levels as we grow and integrate the new experiences along the way.
Yeah, thanks for that, Marcus. And yeah, our transformational spiral framework, it really aligns so well with the integration process. And we so often hear from our trainees, as we're teaching them how to coach, like there is a fear out there that they're going to run out of stuff to talk about with their clients, which is why we bring in this framework for coaching, because this spiral can really be like an anchor and a framework to guide clients through the integration process and all that is the dynamic human experience. And what makes this framework so powerful for coaches really is its flexibility. You spoke earlier to the fact that, psychedelics and the integration thereafter, it's not a linear process, right? It's a spiral. So this framework we found it really provides like a structured yet very adaptable roadmap to support clients in turning their insights from their experiences into these meaningful, sustainable changes. And whether someone's like integrating insights from a psychedelic journey or even navigating other life transitions, this transformational spiral really meets them where they are and helps them move forward with that clarity and that purpose.
Yeah, it's about walking the path with intention, right? It's coaching clients through these cycles of reflection and learning and growth and reflection and learning and growth. And then each loop of the spiral kind of builds on the last one. And then that creates momentum that supports the long-term transformation so that the framework and tool can be repeatable. It's not only just the psychedelic experience, you're going to learn these skills that apply to other transformational moments of your life. And if you understand the framework, how to move through things and integrate transformational experiences, you're going to be able to repeat this process with other things that come up in life.
Yeah, exactly. So as we would dive in now to the details of our transformational spiral framework, like I invite all of you, here with us today to think about how this could not only guide you, on your own personal transformation and your personal integration process, but also how the clients that you will coach, and how it will guide them to create these lasting and meaningful impacts. So yeah, let's take a closer look at how this works.
Yeah, so this, like I said, this framework illustrates how transformation isn't linear. It's a spiral, and we'll dive into this a little bit. So each level builds on the last, and then that guides the clients through discovery, integration, and growth. So if I give you some examples of this, the way that I look at this is we all have our hands full of our wounds and our traumas through our lifetime and different stages of life that we're invited to make peace with these experiences. But then they can resurface in different ways as life continues. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a scenario where you think like, I thought I've healed that aspect of myself, or I thought I've already dealt with this. Like, how is it showing up again? It's showing up again, but it's at a deeper level. It's showing up in a new way for you to re-meet these wounds of ours that we are invited to get to know on a different level. So a personal example, if I get to paint a little picture here, is revolves around losing my mom. My mom died about 3 or 4 years ago, and I moved through the initial process of grief, and then the secondary process of grief, and then the tertiary, and all the firsts that come for the first year, and then all the seconds that come. And um, at this point in my life, I feel very current with that, and I'm okay with that. But I also have space to recognize that when I get married and I have children, this grief is going to come up again because my mom's not going to be able to meet my wife. My mom's not going to be able to meet my children. So I understand that this spiraling is going to continue to come because I've learned this process. So it gets deeper, but it's different and it'll ask me to grow in new ways. So if we take apart the first two pieces of this, a client might begin at level one, which is the facing the hard truths about their life. They need the reality check. We need to get to a place where we realize that, I'm not doing this the way that I would like to be doing this, or I didn't recognize I was doing this. And now that I see it, I have an opportunity to shift. So the first phase is that reality check. And then they move into this level two, where they start to see new possibilities. The world starts to open up. How would you like to act if now you're seeing how you are acting isn't the way that you would like to? And that's the psychic shift.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Marcus. And I think that sets us up well to maybe just take a deeper look at this example together. So, again, you brought up the reality check, you brought up the psychic shift. So let's explore these like with folks here today so they can get a little bit deeper look at how this could apply because that reality check, kind of like you were mentioning, is about confronting, the truth of one situation. It's really the moment of awakening, right? And it can be tough. It can be really difficult, in fact, but it is essential for authentic change. So it's when a person begins to like face that truth of their current reality, often again after some pivotal or motivational crisis that maybe is occurring, but this stage is like about asking those tough questions, like, how did I get here? What patterns have I been repeating and what role have I played, in creating my current circumstances? Again, this is not easy. We know this is not an easy step in the process, but it really is essential because awareness is the first step to meaningful change.
Exactly. Yes. The stage is almost always raw and uncomfortable, but it's also a really powerful opportunity for self discovery. So, for example, imagine coaching someone who's coming out of a psychedelic experience where they've realized that they've been avoiding their feelings of grief after losing a loved one. They've been numbing themselves with work and with distractions. So, at the reality check level, our job as coaches is to gently guide them into examining how this avoidance has been affecting their life. So, you might start to ask questions like, what did you notice about your journey that relates to this loss? How have you been coping with it so far? What was holding on to this avoidance cost you? Or what has it cost you in terms of your relationships or your health or your personal growth? So these questions then help bring awareness to the connection between their inner emotional state and their outer life circumstances, which is then bringing those pieces together, which is the integration process.
It's so powerful, Marcus. And as they reflect, right, they may begin to then see these patterns, see these behaviors that they hadn't recognized before. So let's connect this now to how we may move into another level with clients, like again, like the psychic shift. So Marcus, like, can you explain how the psychic shift would like build on the reality check here?
Yeah. So the psychic shift is basically where the perspective broadens, right? So after acknowledging the truth of your reality, the person then begins to see beyond the immediate burden or challenge. So they start to reframe their experience, turning their problems into potentials. So for instance, that same client might shift from thinking, I've been stuck in grief, it's held me back, and now they might shift that to my grief has taught me about the depth and love and connection. And it's motivating me to show up differently for my relationships, my family moving forward.
Yeah, and that alone can be just such a profound shift. It really is one that opens up that door to possibility. And as coaches, like we can help facilitate this by encouraging clients to explore the blessings and the lessons in their hardships. For example, we might even ask something like, what did this experience teach you about yourself? Or how could this become a source of strength or purpose for you? So, with that, Marcus, what do you think are like some of the most helpful strategies here?
Yeah. So, like, once they start seeing the bigger picture, they can kind of explore their goals and passions and values. That starts to be able to be accessible once we start to go through this. Essentially, we start naming like what's worth changing for. And then we work together to come up with a strategy that feels doable and achievable and aligned for their true self, right? And so for our grieving client, this might mean creating space to honor their loss through a meaningful ritual while also setting a goal to reconnect with their loved ones. But we need to look at the behavior through the lens of emotions and the stories we tell ourselves and the belief systems that prop up that behavior. And in this case, it's hiding from your emotions. Maybe they believe that their grief will never end, which is what most people do. And with coaching, we can help them see that it's a process that they can move through, right? And not engaging in their behavior is kind of keeping them in it. And fear has
Mhm.
kind of a way of keeping us where we don't want to be.
Mm, yeah. So true. So true. And yeah, that's, I feel, where the transformational spiral like really begins to take shape, by moving through that reality check, by moving through, the psychic shift, like clients can see, again, not only where they are, but where they want to go. And that's incredibly empowering. And, ultimately, I know, Marcus, today we're not going to have the opportunity to explore every level, of the psychic, of the transformational spiral here. But just know, all of you attendees here, like, we are going to send you a copy of this transformational spiral framework, like along with an assessment to have more information, so you can help know what levels to work on for yourself, what levels to support clients on, because this is a spiral. And not everyone may need to start with the reality check or with the psychic shift. They may already be through those pieces. So having the assessment, as part of the framework can help you decide as a coach or even for your own journey, like where you want to go. And of course, like we go very deep into every level of this transformational spiral framework in our 6 month transformational and psychedelic integration coach training program. And we even go into micro lessons that deepen into these levels so you can like really get into some deep transformational work with clients that does create, again, that lasting transformation. But for now, I feel like you all have seen like how working within these levels of the transformational spiral, like it really does build this momentum for the deep and the lasting transformation. So the next thing I want to bring up, and I want us to talk about, Marcus, which I think is so powerful, for aspiring coaches to know, as well as folks, on their own journey, is like how to empower sovereignty. So this is a key piece to making this whole transformational spiral framework actually work. So it feels really important to make sure we cover it today.
Yes, absolutely, Susan. So empowering our clients' sovereignty or even our own sovereignty is really what drives the ability to make lasting changes.
Yeah, it really is, Marcus. So let's take a moment then to talk about, again, something really foundational to this whole transformational process, and that is sovereignty. So I think what's important, Marcus, when we say sovereignty in the context of coaching, like what exactly do we even mean here?
Yeah, so sovereignty refers to the idea of being the ultimate authority over one's life, like having agency over what's happening and how we respond to life. It's about owning your choices and your actions and the direction of your personal growth. So, in the coaching process, it means helping clients recognize and embrace their power to navigate their journey authentically and independently, free from all the external influence and control that's out there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it these days. And it really is like such a key point. Sovereignty is just so important because at its core, lasting transformation like comes from within, right? And as coaches, we are here to guide, we are here to support and ask the right questions. But it's the client, who ultimately needs to make those decisions and take those steps forward. So, Marcus, why do you think then empowering a client's sovereignty is really so essential here in this integration process?
Mm, it's essential because true transformation isn't something that we can give to our clients. It's something that they have to cultivate for themselves. And when clients feel empowered to take ownership of their own process, they're far more likely to integrate the insights they've gained and apply them in ways that are meaningful and sustainable to them. So, sovereignty ensures that the change is authentic and deeply aligned with their values and their goals. We're simply shining light at their brilliance so that they can see it for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, by fostering, right, this sovereignty, we help clients like build resilience and really most importantly, self-trust. Um, And it's like you said, it's not about giving them all the answers or solving their problems for them. It's about empowering them to find their own answers and their own solutions. And that way they like develop the confidence, right? And the capability to navigate future challenges without feeling dependent or without needing to rely on external support, for everything they go through.
Yeah, and that's exactly where the magic happens, right? Like when the clients take ownership of their transformation, they're far more invested in the process, right? And they're far more likely to follow through on their actions they've identified that's necessary for their own growth. They lead far more deeper lives, far more agency in their process. And the integration then ensures that the transformation isn't just a fleeting experience, but a lasting, evolving evolution that they can continue to walk on that path.
Yeah. And so really, as coaches, we hold space for their sovereignty, right? We are asking questions instead of giving directives. We're offering perspectives, not prescriptions. And we are there to remind them that they are experts of their own lives. And this approach not only ensures that lasting transformation, but it also helps our clients like feel empowered and I would even say truly free.
Right. That's the thing. Like we can't want it more for them. We have to learn how to power them to want it for themselves, right? And that's where the truly healing happens when they take ownership and they start to drive their own transformation and their own healing process. And the psychedelics provide clarity with that. So as coaches, we can take them through the transformational spiral framework, but ultimately it will always be the client's actions that determine the outcome. So it's the teach a person how to fish analogy, right? Like we can't do it for them. We have to stand as reminders and encouragers that they can indeed do it for themselves.
Yeah, and I love that analogy. Right? Don't just give the man a fish, like teach him how to fish, right? So, yeah, thanks to that, Marcus. Like that's just so empowering. And really, I feel next, we'd really be remiss if we didn't bring, all of this together and talk a little bit more specifically about the role of a coach and how it supports that lasting transformation. I know we've touched on it a lot through our presentation today, but with all of these areas in need of exploration after a psychedelic journey, and really with that goal of lasting transformation, it can feel a bit overwhelming for clients to like unpack and process it all and really make the most of their integration process. So let's quickly like speak to the role of coaching and the benefits that it offers in the integration process. So like Marcus, when someone needs support and guidance, like on their integration, what would you say? Like, what is the role that coaching plays in this long-term transformational success?
Yeah, that's a great question. So coaching and working with an integration coach can support the individual's integration by providing the structure, the accountability that they need to essentially stay consistent in their process. And so coaches offer tailored guidance. They help you navigate the challenges and make the most of your insights. They've dropped some breadcrumbs and some things here and there and give, some clues or some suggestions that might be worth trying on. But most importantly, they create a safe space for you to unpack and get to know yourself. And they walk alongside you, providing the support through all of the steps and every step of the journey. And not to mention the accountability. We all have the best intentions, but life happens and things happen. And having someone to help you get to the heart of what you're really trying to figure out and have somebody that you can consistently show up to that has a space to be able to dive through your stuff is invaluable. So they're called blind spots for a reason, right? Like we all have them. So it's a good coach can help you there and point them out and start to notice your patterns and highlight them and get to kind of, the vision I always have is we hold the river banks for the river to flow. And we kind of get to massage that and help them stay on their own path and track.
That's a great analogy, Marcus. Thanks for sharing that. And what I love about this all, and I just don't think we can stress the importance enough, is that the fact that no one has to go on this journey alone, right? And it really sounds like it can be so helpful to have that coach alongside for integration for this transformational process.
Definitely. I mean, we're all big believers in working with a coach, obviously, but what I've even found on my own personal journey, as well as coaching others on their journey, is that you tend to make progress way faster. I mean, of course you do. And you're able to go deeper. Of course you are, because there's a space and an intention and attention, and you just go deeper into the whole process. And so when you have support and guidance along the way, it makes all the difference in the world. Like, your friends are lovely. My friends are lovely, but they're not trained to truly help you and reflect and guide you through a process. So getting training as an integration coach can be hugely beneficial, because what you learn is directly applicable to your own experience and your own transformation as well. It's been hugely transformative to go through this course and learn the tools and the skills and to reflect on my process and be able to refine and gain more skills into my own transformations.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful, Marcus. And we are very big believers over here at Being True to You of working with an integration coach and even becoming trained, as an integration coach to really provide the highest of integrity to support clients and really to support your own personal transformation and your own journey. So to start our wrap up for today's session, because I definitely want to make time for our Q&A with everyone, but let's just really quickly go ahead and review what we covered today for all of our aspiring coaches and all of our curious seekers out there who are on their journey. So I'm just going to go over a little summary here for us on really what we talked about today, and that's creating lasting transformation. So, y'all now know that psychedelics, while they are so able to create profound experiences, they really are only a catalyst for healing. Okay, they are not the entire solution. And you also learned today about this transformational spiral framework and how the healing process is not linear, right? We gave you some great examples like of the framework and how you can apply it to your own journey or how you can apply it to supporting clients, on their journey to lasting transformation. And we even explored, a few of those levels in more depth so you could really see how you could apply these in a client session or in your own life. So we then touched today on the importance of empowering client sovereignty and how true healing does happen when clients take ownership of their journey. So remember, while psychedelics do provide clarity, and as coaches, we can take someone through a transformational spiral framework. Ultimately, it will always be the client's actions that determine the outcome of their healing and their transformation journey. So finally, we wrapped up a little bit today talking about the role of coaching and how that can really just further transform an integration process to really support someone, on their journey and all the benefits that that can have in the overall process of creating lasting transformation.
Awesome, Susan. We've packed a lot of information in this little insight series. I'm excited to share more. And when the course kicks off, I'm excited to see you guys all in there. Susan and I run the discussion groups. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marcus. And yeah, I'm really eager, for our next training to kick off. And I hope all of you here watching will join us for our next cohort. Because it is just such a pleasure. Like we love sharing this stuff with you in these webinars, in the training program. So I do want to get to some Q&A, but real quick, I do want to talk to all of you about what you can do to take the next step on your journey as an aspiring coach. So here at Being True to You, like our passion for psychedelic integration and this transformational process, it really has inspired our work for the past 15 years. And it was the catalyst for our industry leading coach training program to be born, which is the industry's first and longest running. So if you are ready to explore what this could look like, on a deeply personal and professional level, like enrollment for our next cohort of our psychedelic integration and transformational coach training program, it's open right now. So if you are finding yourself eager to be of service to others and you are wanting to join a community to really build connections with other like-hearted individuals who are so passionate about integration, like we would love to have you join us. We have some links that we're going to be dropping in over in the chat for you so you can learn more. And you can always book a discovery call with one of our enrollment specialists to really make sure you get all of your questions answered and that you can get enrolled.
Beautiful. Coaching is such a powerful tool for everybody going through a major life change. Like I just, especially at this time in human history, like we need more coaches to step up and start supporting each other and learn the skill and have others, help others navigate the struggles of the human experience. And the skill set of integration, like I said earlier, it offers so much. It's not just about psychedelics, it's about transformational experiences. This is about, well, I can go into them, but there's lots, right? There's more than just psychedelics. I'd be hard pressed to find another avenue of skill set that has a greater potential to help both yourself and others in transforming their lives. So, with that, whether you're using this for yourself or you're helping others with it, it would be great to see all of you in the program soon.
Yes, I agree so much, Marcus. Thank you for that. And yes, we would absolutely love to have you all in the program.